But I am Guadalupe Garcia. I am part of 350 South Florida and the community consumer awareness group. And we've been practicing for a long time gardening here, so I'm very excited to share it with you.
Okay. Yeah. I am Annick Sternberg. I am a part of the South Florida 305 also, and I am just very interested in gardening, and every year it's different. I mean, it's the most rewarding thing you could do, really. And I've done it all my life, so every day, every year, it's different.
Hey everyone.
Oh, we were just introducing ourselves. If you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Chantal from Urban Oasis Project. So I run the Give Garden program that we have.
Okay, cool. Next, if people are a little shy, that's totally fine. So thank you so much. If you want to get involved with 350 South Florida, our next open board meeting is going to take place April 5th at 6 p.m. They're always the first Monday of each month at 6 p.m. So now we are going to have a video by our board member, Simon. He is going to share his passion for gardening, followed by a presentation by our consumer awareness group member, Annick and Guadalupe. So I'm going to share my screen so that you guys could see the video that our board member has on gardening. Give me 1 second.
Hey South Florida, my name is Simon Gotera. I'm working with 350 to show you guys that a community garden or your own vegetable garden doesn't require a ton of space, a front or a backyard. You can do it in your apartment, and even if you live in a concrete jungle, city of Miami, Miami Beach, wherever it is that you're growing this. To show you guys, we're growing bell peppers, we're growing cucumbers, we got spinach, corn growing over here. You know, we've got future projects that we want to work on with carrot, lettuce, kale, a couple of tools to build a raised garden bed in the back. You know, it takes a little bit of vision, but you can really make any space work. We got aloe vera growing, we got tomatoes, I'm even growing palm trees and hopefully a coconut tree. You know, it's a whole rabbit hole. I started looking into vermicomposting to really give the most back to my plants. This is only a month's worth of work, if you guys can believe it. And you know, you take 5 minutes to research about the plants that you want to grow, see how much sunlight they need, and see if it's really possible to do it. And honestly, usually you can. Everything is working pretty well here so far, and hopefully I can inspire some of you guys to go do it in wherever location that you are, and that you can recognize that you don't really need much of anything else to grow vegetables, save some money, improve on your sustainability, and just have everything pretty much benefit from this vegetable garden with the tiniest amount of work. It's doable. I hope you guys go out and you just do it, because it really is worth your time. It's a great way to connect with nature, to make some more green going on in your backyard and in your world. You know, we need a lot more of it. So wishing you guys very best.
Tim has just completed a furniture restoration course and would love his own workshop.
I'm looking forward to getting rid of my disreputable old shed and getting a nice workshop in place. So I should then be able to attend to whatever challenges come my way with the new house. In fact, I could see that.
We can't hear you.
You're mute.
Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry. Technical difficulties, guys. Okay, were you guys able to see the video and hear the video? I hope so. Okay, great. Okay, moving on. Oh, does anyone have any questions for our board member, Simon? About their gardening? What is gardening? Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
All right, cool.
Yeah, how long have you been working on your garden? Because there was a little bit of noise. Or did you say 1 month?
Yeah, so most of the plants except for the aloe vera plant have only been there for 1 month.
Excellent. It looks pretty nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Cool. So we are going to move on. So now, thank you, Simon, for that video. We really enjoyed seeing all the work in your little garden. That's awesome. Now we're going to have a presentation from Kiss the Ground by consumer awareness members Guadalupe and Anik. If you guys need to share the screen, I think you guys can.
I'm going to share the screen.
Okay, let me know if you can. Oh, you should be able to. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, Anik, do you want to start presenting what the Kiss the Ground is?
Kiss the Ground is really a not-for-profit organization that started about 7-8 years ago, just in a living room. And it's a group of people who decided that they had to do something about food for the planet, because the topsoil is disappearing. And the topsoil is really where life, is happening for the plants and so on. So we'll speak a little bit about that during the presentation. But if you want to see the movie, they took 7 years to make a movie, which is on Netflix now, Kiss the Ground. There is a link for it at the doc, whatever. I don't know exactly how to go and get it, but you can ask 305, the younger group. And anyway, their idea is that the topsoil has to be regenerated because the topsoil, it's essential. So we are going to show you a few slides, and we can go from there.
Okay. So the first question is, what is soil? And if someone has an idea and wants to jump in the conversation, please be free to unmute yourself. And I would love to hear if someone has an idea about what soil is.
I don't know how to particularly answer the question, but I know it has a lot of nutrients and that are important to grow food, and that lately it's been doesn't have that many nutrients now, and that's an issue now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're gonna go through what is soil exactly made of, and we can see here the percentages of sand, silt, and clay, which is the bigger components of the soil. The percentage of air, we would never imagine how much air is inside the soil, the percentage of water. When the soil is healthy, it retains a lot of water, and that's what makes the soil like a sponge, you know? We're gonna go through this. And the percentage of soil organic matter, which is the 5% of the soil. So we can see, let me see, I don't know what happened there, okay. Sorry, okay. So from this 5% of organic matter, we're gonna zoom in about to see what this organic matter is made of. So we have 50 to 80% of humus, more stable organic matter, 5% of living root and organisms, and we're gonna see how important it is to have living roots, 10% of dead matter, and 25% of actively decomposing matter. So what happens if the soil organic matter changes? We have in the left side a soil that is compacted, and it's the soil organic matter is almost dying, and in the right side a healthy, hydrated, and airy soil. And Nick, if you have more comments, please jump in.
Yeah, no, it's I mean it's obvious. When you compact the soil, you know, you don't favor life in the soil. So it's important to keep in mind that you know, of course, in the farms, the big tractors and so on are not, you know, the best solution if you want to, you know, if you want to regenerate the soil. So the idea is that you know, the gray one that has all the roots and everything is really regenerating the soil, which is important. So you don't want you want to go from sustainability to regeneration. Otherwise, eventually you get what we have there. Okay, so that's basically.
Yeah, sorry. So this is the components of both different kinds of situations. When we have compactation on the earth, the sand and steel, sand, silt, and clay increases, the percentage of air decreases, the percentage of water decreases, and the organic matter goes down up to 1%. So this soil is of course, is hard, and it's not as a sponge or like porous as ideally living matter needs to be. The aggregation is, you can see, it's 40% air, 30% water, 10% soil organic matter, 30% sand, silt, and clay. So this aggregated earth, soil, functions as a sponge, as I've said, and it retains the humidity and the air inside it. That's why the organic matter have everything that is needed to recreate, to regenerate the life. Okay.
Imagine if you were a plant, in which soil would you like to grow?
Yeah. So the big difference between degenerative conventional and regenerative agriculture is whether or not you are treating all soil as a living organism that constantly needs to be fed carbon via living plant roots. And this is very, very important. This is key to understand what we need to do, even in a small pot, as we're starting to plant. we need to be aware that the soil is a living organism and it needs to be fed, you know. Otherwise, we tend to, the tendency has been to consider ourselves separated from nature, but soil is as living, as alive as us. So until we understand this, we will really treat the soil as it needs to be treated. So this map, I don't know if all of you are aware of this chemical glyphosate. This has been like a turning point in agriculture and a turning point now for the climate crisis we're all facing.
Yeah,
because,
if I may, Roundup.
Yeah, the Roundup.
No, this
exactly.
Is, yeah.
It's the component of the herbicide and pesticide, the herbicide Roundup, which is available at Home Depot. And this pesticide and the ingredient, the glyphosate, is used to kill weeds, but it not only kills weeds, but it kills life in the soil, and it makes plants. It's a whole subject that I'm not going to talk about it, but it's the about the transgenic seeds, because then the seeds become resistant to glyphosate, so they have to modify the seeds genetically for them to thrive with glyphosate. It's a very complex subject, but I just want you to be aware of the spraying of glyphosate in the agriculture in the United States. It started in the 90s, this is the map from the 90s, and this is the map of 2014. So the red areas is heavily sprayed with glyphosate, and you can see that this is where most of the cornfields and the industrial farming takes place.
Yeah, and can I add something?
Yes, of course.
It doesn't show on the map, but where the Mississippi River
is here,
there, the water is has been killing. The glyphosate arrives over there with a watershed, and the mouth of the Mississippi River is dying.
Yes. And this is how it looks in the Gulf of Mexico, where the Mississippi River and the water of the Mississippi River gets in the ocean. So this is as bad as it is. The line is like the death matter. And the thing is that this is affecting the whole country. It's not just where they spray it, but it's taken by the aquifers and it's going back to the atmosphere through evaporation, and that comes back in the rain. So the cycle of water is all affected by these chemicals.
And by growing your own food in your gardens, whether it's on your balcony or in your, in a community garden or your garden, you have control over how you grow your food. And keep in mind that pesticides are killing. And if you kill the plant, you kill yourself, you kill the microbes in the topsoil. So that's basically, the killing story.
Yeah. So the US loses 1.7 billion tons of topsoil annually, which Annie wanted to talk about what that means in terms of agriculture.
That means that if we keep going on the same speed without regenerating the topsoil and regenerating it in a organic way without pesticides and all the killing elements, that means that within your lifetime, there won't be any more topsoil. to feed the plants that feed the humans and the animals and so on. So it's really like an emergency within your lifetime, 60 years, 48 years, 60 years, if we don't do something today about it. And that's why you are here.
Exactly. So this is not just an American problem, this is a global epidemic. And we have lost a third of farmable lands in the past 40 years. And we have lost them because the glyphosate and the pesticides are killing the organic matter in the soil. And we are facing a desertification of the land. And the lands are becoming sterile, and they don't produce any food anymore. So when Anik was talking about degenerative, sustainable, and regenerative practices. Do you want to talk about it, Anik?
Yeah, it's it's pretty a pretty slides where you can just imagine where you want to live, and the degenerative is what is happening too much right now. So if we sustain that is right now, what is the planet right now, we can still have a little bit of we can sustain what is degenerated, which is okay, but regenerative would be probably what you are choosing, right? With trees, with greens, with food, with a healthy planet. So that's what we are hoping that, gardening and having our own gardens, farming in different ways and so on, can save the planet, because right now the planet is suffering. The planet is dying because we degenerated it.
Yeah. So this is where we are now, growing soil. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 pot or 1 acre or 100, all the soil is important right now to regenerate the planet, to sequester carbon. So this is a very important topic. But we have 5 principles in regenerative agriculture that are very important to have in mind. And first of all is least disturbance of the land. We're not gonna go deeper in that because these are farming practices where tilling is not recommended. But living root is very important. Living root gives the structure to the soil to become an aggregate. So it's very important to keep the roots on the ground. And the soil armor means to cover the topsoil with cover crops and not exposing it directly to the sun, as monocrops usually have soil directly exposed to the sun, and it's literally cooking, burning. So this is drying more the soil. Then the animal integration, which is the interconnection of all species, which brings also to an increased biodiversity, which is key to think on biodiversity anywhere we are planting something. Okay. And this is an example of a carbon-rich soil. The healthy soil looks like this one. There are roots, there's organic matter, and it's like a sponge, it has air, it has the possibility to capture the water. Okay.
So if you want healthy plants in your garden, you really have to think in terms of topsoil and what you feed them, because what you don't see in the around the roots and so on is the most important thing that is going to happen.
Yeah, they were telling us that in a spoonful of soil, of healthy soil, there are more microorganisms than stars. You wouldn't imagine how many microorganisms live in the topsoil. Okay,
Yeah, can I make a comment?
sure.
Mhm.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, beautiful people. My name is Mona Lisa. We actually have a permaculture community garden in East Hollywood that we started. We own the land. And basically, we use everything. We use no pesticides, no herbicides, no chemicals, nothing at all. We partnered up with the University of Florida Master Gardeners. And it has been an amazing journey. We have been there every Friday. We started the first week in December, and the community has been coming out. And we're like in the hood, like by the prostitutes, the junkies, the dope boys, like we're in the middle of the hood. I'm a climate justice organizer that works around food insecurity. And also I mentor the incarcerated youth. So I understand that the lack of food and food insecurity and the lack of knowledge is a contributor to the school to prison pipeline. So I'm a solution-oriented person. So I'm curious to know who actually is implementing what they're saying. We've harvested already like 4 or 5 times. The mulch that we use is turning into soil. We have created an ecosystem. There are bees now, there's flowers, there's butterflies, and it's just been an amazing process. It's not that difficult. Literally, everything has been in kind. We haven't spent $1. If you know landscapers, tell them to bring you mulch, and the mulch turns into soil, which we call black gold, and the nutrients are out of control. Permaculture, if you know how to plant things, you don't need, literally it's creating a world. So if you're in South Florida and Hollywood, like come check us out, because we're harvesting and it's real. It's very real, and anyone can do it. Absolutely anyone. We have kids there, 2, 3-year-old kids as well. So
That's amazing. Do you guys have a social media that we could like follow and stuff?
you can follow me. We're kind of working on that now because everything's been happening so fast, and we're really hands-on. So my name is Mona Lisa Weber. And then my community partner is Erin Hollis. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, perfect.
And if
Thank
you guys are local, like come check it out. Like
that's definitely super amazing. We should definitely.
We've already fed like 10 families.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Well,
So thank you for the time.
sharing.
I just wanted to, I'm very big on soil. I've been doing a lot of studying. I've been to all type of conferences, and like soil is life. That's exactly what it is. It's life. So thank you for this webinar, because like soil is really the shit, like for real, literally.
It is.
Yeah. And we are going to continue on. Thank you, Anik and Guadalupe, for the presentation. That was awesome. And now we're going to continue with our guest speakers. First off, we have Urban Oasis Project, Chantal and Art. The stage is.
Hey, how are you guys? I'm Chantal, and Art is here also with me. And yeah, we work together at Urban Oasis Project, where we do a number of things for the community as far as farmers markets. We build gardens for folks. We pack veggie boxes for families in need. Yeah, we double EBT and SNAP dollars at all our markets. And yeah, the main mission is to make fresh food available and accessible to all. The last few months, I've been really focusing on building gardens in different communities here in Miami. Most of them have been in Liberty City and Overtown, with a few in North Miami. And folks can access that through our website. We have an application online, and then we also have like printed out applications at our markets now. And the style of those gardens are raised beds that come in 2 sizes, a 4x4 or a 4x8. I bring all the materials, and I have a little convo with the family beforehand to figure out what they want to grow and what they're interested in growing and eating, because we don't want to give folks something that they're not familiar with or they're not going to utilize. Yeah, and like the speaker before, Mona Lisa, like I appreciate your passion that you have for going into these spaces and growing food and like just changing the ecosystem that's happening there, as far as like creating green space, and then also like creating spaces for butterflies and bees and just like weeds to flourish and like people to be in community with plants and like with the environment. So a lot of that is like the focus of in building these gardens and going into folks' homes is like to make a connection back to the land, and like because so much of it has just been separated and pushed apart, and like a lot of folks like have this mindset of like, oh, I have to go to the store and I have to buy this and this is how I can feed myself, and this is giving them an opportunity to step outside of that and like have something at their homes that is tangible and they see from the beginning, where there's like just yeah. Do you want to add anything?
So yeah, I can add to that. Hi, this is Art, Urban Oasis Project. And yeah, we've been building gardens off and on. We call it our Give Gardens program. So you can find links to that and more information on our website, which is urbanoasisproject.org. We also have an Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. So you can check us out there. And yeah, we've been doing the gardens off and on for 10 years. So we've done at least 150, probably a lot more gardens over 10 years. But it's been really great this last year that Chantal has really gone really full all in on that are in need of the gardens. And so as part of that also, we are working in South Miami now. We reopened a farmer's market in South Miami, and we really want to connect with the community there and help build a community garden there. So we are getting some proposals in. There's already a property that the city had wanted to work with. And so that is in development. So people can also reach out to us if you want to, maybe be a part of that down the road. It'll be, I'm sure, another 2 or 3 months before there's actually kind of a groundbreaking on that, because they have to get approvals and all that stuff. But we've been organizing and kind of getting a little bit of funding for some fences and water and tools, materials, stuff like that. And we want that to connect with the farmers market there, which is right there in South Miami. So I think a lot of you are nearby there. So come check that out on Saturdays. We're also going to be helping organize a tour of the Grow to Heal garden with Baptist Hospital, which is right around the corner from the South Miami Farmers Market. And yeah, like Chantal said, like making the food accessible and available to everyone is what we're all about. So we double SNAP benefits at farmers markets, and we also have a free box program that we give away 35 to 40 free veggie boxes every week to people all over the county that are in need. So if you have a connection with someone who needs a free box, you can let us know through our website or through our online store and order a free box for that person. So there's some more info on our website about that. But yeah, reconnecting people with food and with growing food, that's what got us started and got us motivated to get into kind of building a nonprofit. And it's been really exciting to kind of, see all these different facets of the food system and be able to, interact with a lot of it by running farmers markets and by aggregating produce from all kinds of small local farms, and getting that out to people that, want to connect with their food more. So I think that's about all I got.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Chantal and Art, for explaining what you guys do at our Urban Oasis Project. That's an amazing nonprofit. And next up, we have Green with Teddy Lutelier. Sorry if I messed up your last name. All right, take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Honestly, I'm humbled because passing just right after Art and Chantal, I feel like, you got the main speakers right there. Been doing that forever. For me, at least, they're true heroes in our communities, because you don't have a lot of people spending their time trying to fix problem like this. So that inspired a lot of people around the Miami area, and even at UM. So that's probably 5 years ago. We invited Art and Chantel to speak in one of our food day events at University of Miami. And since then, we've been able to actually do something we thought was not possible, is to create our own garden. And what I think Simon was saying is that you don't need a lot of space. It's true. FIU, I'm an FIU graduate, and I used to teach at FIU, has a huge garden, and maybe not as huge as the Grow to Heal garden, for instance, that you can see in the Baptist Hospital in Homestead. That's another inspiration of ours, what the work of what the T Squire has been doing over the years. But still, you can make a lot of productive things and growing areas with very little land. So I'm going to share with you a few of the things that we've done in several campuses, and then I'll kind of try to explain what happened there. 1 second. So yeah, probably 5 years ago, again, after meeting with Art and some other of our what I'm going to call them food heroes in our communities, we started this garden. It was basically on the main campus in Coral Gables, a dump area for vegetative debris. So it was like a big hole, depression in the middle, so no soil at all. If you talk about soil, it was just rubble. But there were a lot of vegetative debris, so it could have become something. But the problem is, to level the land, our folks from facilities had to fill the whole thing. And maybe what I should do is probably share the website. Let me hold on. That way you can see what I'm talking about. They put a lot of the, hold on 1 second. Here we go. So they put a lot of construction debris just to level the ground. So if you see those pictures over here, that was how the area looked like. Then they pretty much leveled everything with the cheapest thing they could find, which was construction debris. Not really good for gardening. So basically from there, that's what we were given. And usually I remember the work of one of my friend, James Giler, who's been founding another organization called Urban Greenworks, amazing group in the community, doing a great job. It's really taking barren land, like messed up land. You put people that also have their own issues, actually, and everybody's is going to heal. And the land is going to heal, people are going to heal, and other people are going to be benefiting from the healing through the food you can grow. And so this land became something like this through a lot of Dr. Hood, who's the manager of that garden. She's teaching in our international studies department. Got inspired by permaculture. So one of our presenter was talking about the permaculture. She even had a technique that is called, and I'm sorry, I have to go back to the PDF because it's really a German name that I forgot. Hold on, it's not this one. It's over here. And they call it Ugel culture. So it's coming from Germany, and it's basically a way to create soil by first adding branches, look, dead trees, ramial wood, that's how they call it. And if you want, you can go on this website. It's miami.edu/gardens. I'll share that in the chat later. And you can find a lot of good stuff on this page. And we started adding everything we could, from coffee ground to rabbit poop to banana peel from the smoothie place on campus. Everything we could find to add all the nutrients that the soil needed to be built. And from there, the design an area that really serve multiple purposes. I'm not gonna say that we are actually feeding a lot of people with this garden. It's really small, and but it's an example of what can be done. And the plant-based cane, which is another group on campus, is actually harvesting the food, and we're able to make some demonstration with this. I'm gonna show you something else that we've been doing, and that's something similar to what happened in Baptist and at a much smaller level, I have to admit, because again, Grow to Heal, you can Google the program, done an amazing job at feeding patients in hospitals. What we're trying to do on the Med campus at UM is to also create pollinators haven. So behind over here, you see like a little butterfly garden. And we just recently, like 2 weeks ago, planted the urban food garden over there. So for patients, also for the Cancer Support Services mission. So what they're gonna do is basically use the herbs, the turmeric and all the herbs that we planted over there to also show patients that are under chemotherapy treatment how to heal themselves with food. That's another mission of food growing. And one of the things that one of the dietitian was saying is, why not plant something called the fruit miracle fruit tree? And right away we started ordering them. And if you don't know, the miracle fruit tree is a little shrub, actually, not a tree, that gives a little red bay, that when you eat it, everything you eat after that is going to change the taste. It's going to have like a sweet taste. So if you eat lemon, then the little bay, and then you eat lemon again, the lemon won't taste acidic. It will taste like sweet almost. And so that's a good way for a chemotherapy patient to recover the taste that they've lost, usually through the treatment. So that's another thing that we're trying to do, just to show you that, you know, everything is linked. Wherever you can, if it's in a school, if it's in your backyard, if it's on the balcony, wherever you are, you have power to change things. This is something that, honestly, when I started at the Med campus, I was talking about recycling and energy savings. People that were supposed to help me were not super excited. It was not their big thing. But then when I started talking about butterflies and food, their eye opened, and we started working together, building more butterfly gardens for patients to relax and feel connected to nature. And it led to this new food and herb garden. So it's really about not losing patience. Sometimes you want things to happen quickly. It's normal. But if you have a mission and a goal in mind, hold on to it, and you'll make it happen. That's really maybe the message I want to leave you with.
Thank you so much, Teddy, for sharing everything that you guys are doing at the University of Miami. That's amazing work. And last, we're going to have Jorge from Plant Philosophy. The floor is yours, Jorge.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I just want to definitely give a quick shout out to everyone here. Thank you all for your presence. And yeah, I just want everyone to take a moment to acknowledge themselves as well, as far as doing this work, because the Lord knows it ain't easy, especially when you have, a lot of people that are looking up to you or depending on you, or just kind of wanting more of you to do more of this work. So, it's great that we can multiply within our own selves and continue doing this all around. Because, overall, the most important thing, if we just continue to green up this planet, we can definitely change things around. And I'm sure you all know that, and you all feel that just by having some form of sustainable space that's just greening up and creating these own ecosystem. But yeah, so my name is Jorge. Through this little webinar we have going on right now, I'm representing as Plant Philosophy. Originally, the concept started by wanting to create different spaces of being able to gather folks together in South Florida or within the community of like engaging one another through knowledge of whether it be from ourselves and through learning from plants. So originally we started from teaching folks on how to grow food from seed, all while kind of like adding a twist to it. So there's always like a creative avenue where we're just combining all these things in one, and we're just engaging ourselves and the land. Originally started through there, and then, you know, the more and more I just kept engaging in the work, the more I expanded in knowledge and what I'm doing. And as of recently, my biggest focus has been from there creating and collaborating with a good buddy of mine named David. He had Save the Kids from Incarceration, where we combined both of our platforms and created the Green Haven Project. And then from there, we created the Overtown Green Haven, where essentially is basically like, there's many avenues on how to describe the space in Overtown, but we basically treat it as a free resource center. Part of that free resource center is anything we grow there, we give it away to the locals, to the community. We use it for folks that are doing the community fridges, or we use anything we grow there for homeless feedings. We use the space for anybody that wants to donate any prepped or cooked food. Like we collaborated with Love Life, Naomi's Kitchen, and they've donated food to us to hand out to the houseless folks. If folks want to donate clothes, basically, you know, everything in that avenue that can make people's living experiences in these areas that are still like on the lines of poverty, and that are also on the other spectrum of being gentrified, to make their living experiences a lot easier. So, you know, we've combined the different avenues, collaborated with so many people, and essentially too, you know, when it comes to being outsiders, you never want to come into a space with the intentions of expecting to change it, because that's your big mistake right there. And that's where you start to alienate yourselves from folks in those areas. Part of our biggest impact of being there is just trying to inspire, you know, folks to do better and just to obtain this knowledge and to want to be more aware of this food insecurity that, you know, a lot of these food deserts tend to struggle with. And to also engage the youth in that area and to give them a different perspective, because, you know, it's like Overtown is not all doom and gloom like how most people would assume, but, you know, there's still its negative concepts in the sense that, you know, there's still like a drug epidemic that's still kind of fluttering around there. There's gang relations. But, you know, with presence there and just kind of like gathering different folks throughout South Florida that just want to be a part of the mission is, you know, we're helping to inspire the youth that there's a lot more than what they're currently surrounded by. And we're also we're also kind of, you know, breaking the mold that, you know, we can't have urban farms in such, you know, concrete jungles, that it's very much possible. It's just a matter of just, you know, how like a lot of folks were talking about here today, is just basically rejuvenating the soil and, you know, just taking back the land in a sense of making it to what it once was, you know. And yeah, so it's definitely been quite the journey. We've been in this space in Overtown for, I think we're going on 3 years now. And it's just something that just continues to grow. More and more folks, more and more families continue to find out about it. We had this family that came the other day that it was a group of friends of like elders that some mostly spoke English and Spanish, and then some mostly spoke English and Jamaican. And their immediate thought was like, oh, are you guys selling? And, you know, we always try to correct that concept. But it's like, no, we're not selling anything. But if you need anything, you can feel free to take absolutely anything you want. We've been able to create that form of relationships with folks in the area of just letting them know, like, whenever you need it, just come. Whenever you want, just tell us what you need. It's definitely has been, it's been such a huge blessing to be able to be in a position to you know, be able to give such resources. I feel for me, that's where blessings come from, is like not what you have, but what you can give. And part of that blessings too of being able to give is being surrounded by a lot of good people as well in my life that are able to do that as well, you know. So yeah, it's been incredible. We also got a lot of things that have been cooking up. I won't speak too much on it, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a very busy year, and we're getting approached by a lot of incredible people. Schools are approaching us now, and you know, it's just something that's continuing to grow. And part of the growth is just realizing how much of this information is going to be able to continue to expand and reach others, and who is it going to inspire, and how much of our youth is going to want to take on the torch.
That was amazing. I love all the work that every single one of you guys is doing. It's very inspirational and, you know, worth doing in the community, especially for local community members who are facing food insecurity and, you know, don't have proper access to nutritious food, which is what, you know, we all deserve. So now we can proceed with a few questions from the audience. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat or just directly turn your mic on.
I wanted to ask the last speaker, I forgot your name.
Jorge.
Jorge, if you guys have a website people can go to. I know like a lot of students at UM, at FIU, they need to sometimes volunteer, but it's also simply that they want to help. And so you could receive some help through that. But do you have like a web page or something that we could share?
Yes. I'll put my I'll put the IG page. Does everyone here have Instagram for the most part? Cool. Yeah, I'm because through our Instagram page, you can also find the website on there. But yeah, if you have students, that's another thing too. We've also been fortunately able to use the space to like have different students in different schools, different organizations that bring kids out there to have a field trip, whether it be to come learn about the space, to come learn about what's happening in Overtown, or to just obtain volunteer hours, which we're able to give. Putting the IG right now. But yeah, definitely you can reach us there, and we're always open to creating these experiences for such students. So yeah.
Thanks.
I had a question for Urban Oasis Project. You guys said that you guys have like culturally appropriate food, like depending on what the community wants to grow and consume. What are like the typical things that they want?
Typical things that folks are wanting to grow right now. Lots of greens, kale, lettuces, things that they can make salads with, I feel has been a big push the last couple months. Tomatoes, kale, collards, beets, radishes, lots of herbs, and like perennial like herbs I will, rosemary, thyme, sage, things like that. Because they're also easy to grow. There are some pests that will go after like lettuces and things like that, but I haven't had to do any major pest control on any of these home gardens. And as far as like fertilizing and things like that, I've been recommending, like some folks have been have like a little compost bin set up at their homes, like a little churn thing, or I even recommend just like digging a little hole in one of the corners of the beds and burying like your your dry fruit scraps, like not necessarily cooked food, but like onion peels, carrot peels, things like that, will amend the soil and like add nutrients to it. And it's a good way to just like use up food waste.
One thing Chantel and Art forgot to mention is that, you know, sometimes, honestly, nowadays, a lot of people don't cook because it's, you know, you live a really stressful life when you have 2 jobs and kids to feed. It's hard sometimes to even find the time to cook. But let's say you have the time to cook, you also have need the time to either grow your food or go to get fresh food somewhere. It's hard. And something that recently, I mean, with COVID, I guess, did that I took advantage of, I'm going to say it shamelessly, is like an online store of fresh food from different farms in the county. So if you go on their website, you can also register and have your basket, for instance. And it's not just a basket of anything. You can actually pick what you want. It looks just like a regular store, basically. The only thing is you will have to go pick up your basket somewhere where Chantal will be there for you. But I think it's a great tool that anybody can use. You can order on your phone and go pick up the basket the next Friday. And I think it's a really cool thing that they have out there. Just saying.
Well, if anybody has any other questions or comments, or if you guys want to put any other links that we could use to access your organizations and the work you guys do, feel free to put them in the chat. But other than that, thank you so much to all of our amazing guest speakers and all the great work that you guys are doing for our community. Be sure to follow them and get involved in making our community a better place. I know you guys have like volunteer opportunities, right? To like go and help grow and stuff, right? Okay, cool. So I will definitely be checking that out. I definitely want to go and help grow the gardens. So thank you everyone for your time. This video is going to be up on YouTube for you guys to watch and share. But other than that, thank you so much for everyone for attending. And I wish you guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone. And thank you, Gwen.
you.